Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Pop Star. We pop about all the spots we love in professional wrestling. And this week we pop about LPW 47, a part of our heritage, and the LPWxCWS 35 show. I am your host, Andre Sheik. Joining me as always, my boy AWS. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. It was a good weekend. It was a good weekend. A couple of banging shows. Very happy with the performance of everyone. We're getting into May. Things are heating up. We got a long. We got a couple of weeks of of shows after this. This is gonna be an interesting one. Also, very happy with our new episode of Pop Spot Presents that came out. Very happy with that.
Me too. You can check that out right here on Backbreaker video, or our sit down with one German juggernaut himself, Big Moses Luke. You can check.
Absolutely. So before we get into things in earnest, I have received a bounty of sodas and pops over the last weekend. So I'm going to be covering things over the next few shows, but this first one comes from our friend Jocelyn. It's the Wild Berry Poppy. We're going to give this a shot. I do enjoy me a good berry soda, and this is my first time trying this brand.
I like the Strawberry Poppy.
Fair enough. That's nice. Yeah. You can taste multiple berries in that. Really, it tastes like those like wild berry flavored fruit to go leather strips from back in the day. It tastes like that, but without the weird texture.
Tastes like ass?
No, it tastes good, just without the weird texture.
It doesn't taste like a fruit to go strip.
The problem is the fruit to go tasted. The problem with the fruit to go is not the flavor; it was the texture.
No, the flavor sucked too, but the personal feeling.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that's good. I dig that. And it's
so let's chat about some LPW. The pop's good. The pop's good. So let's pop off about LPW. And this week we actually got a couple little quick interviews on this episode.
Yeah, that's very good.
We'll get to those. LPWxCWS event that we chatted with after the shows. But we're going to get into this. We're talking about Tournament Salvation, a prequel to LPW 47. And we have the Tournament Salvation, which is 6 first-round matches that will take place. The first-round match will be random draw at time of competition. Each first-round match will have a 5-minute time limit. Matches can be won by pinfall or submission within the time limit. Any match that reaches the time limit or has a decision caused by means other than pinfall or submission will see both competitors eliminated for tournament. So if you get disqualified, you're both disqualified. You both counted out, you're both out of the tournament. It's pinfall or submission to get through. All winners proceed to a no time limit main event elimination match where eliminations can occur by pinfall, submission, or being thrown over the top rope. Last competitor remaining will be the new CWS champion of Salvation.
Yeah, so these rules, whenever I'm presented by a wrestling promotion with a wall of text, I do get a little bit intimidated. That's not because I'm thick, but no, thickness is down there somewhere. The problem is when you try and overcomplicate things, but really it wasn't that bad the way that everything was presented. It was definitely more easy to follow on the night than it was reading the rules on a wall of text. But we're going to get into this. We have 6 first-round matches to talk about, so I'm going to lightning through these. I got like 1 or 2 things to say per each of them, and then the finish. So our first match is one jacked and juicy man himself, Birai Gorani, taking on the debuting new member of the CWS roster. It is Atlas Raven,
the Bird of War.
The Bird of War. Where is he from, Andre?
The skies over the battlefield. I can't remember.
Like that.
I can't remember. I don't have my card on me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But Atlas Raven. I'm very excited to see this young prospect get to work. He does do a couple of fun things in this match. He has a really good jumping knee strike off of a shin kick. I really enjoyed that.
Trigger!
Very good V-trigger. And my favorite move of his was the combination of the Dean Ambrose falling into the middle rope and rebounding off of it into the Tanahashi sling blade.
Yeah, baby.
Very, very much enjoyed that. But unfortunately, the Bird of War did crash this evening as Birat did get the win off of his choke slam style Uranagi into a hesitation enziguri for the 3 and the big win.
All right, with that, let's go to my little sit down with one Atlas Raven after the show. We'll chat with him first, and then we got more later.
Let's do it.
Tracy here for the pop spot. Here with debuting superstar Mr. Atlas Raven. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. A little sore, but pretty good.
Happy to hear finally making your CWS debut here.
Yeah.
And in the Tournament of Salvation, a great shot for your first night out.
Yeah. Honestly, it's surreal coming onto that stage and like seeing everyone just sitting there. It gets nervous, but it's surreal.
Yeah. So behind the scenes, you did get your showcase match back in November, and you got a shot at the Revolution Rumble there. But again, a very different feeling coming here as Atlas Raven, as the man you're supposed to be. How does it feel to kind of start showing everybody who you truly are, who you're like really kind of bringing yourself to the forefront?
Honestly, it feels amazing to do. Amazing that I can finally be myself, so people know who it is and who's going to rise to the top. I mean, hell, I'm one of the best stars coming up and soon in this generation. I'm not to be egotistical here, but you got to do what you got to do. You got to be the best.
Yeah.
Honestly.
17 years, or just turned 18, right?
18.
Just turned 18 years old. He's already here in CWS. And can you give us this, how do you feel finally coming out and coming from the clandestine school? How did that feel finally kind of coming out of that shadow? Like, how was it working there and then finally coming out?
It's a whole different world. I'm not gonna lie, it's a whole different world. It feels like you traveled right through a portal. Like that curtain is the portal, to be honest. It's super interesting, but it's also super fun. And as long as I can get the crowd behind me, I'm gonna keep going as much as I can.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you here again next month for more Clandestine Wrestling Society, and we'll see you again next month.
Very good. Very fun. Very nice.
Very fun.
Very good insight from that man.
I really liked speaking to him and getting his feel, because yes, we did see him in Canwar in November in the student showcase match.
The Young Lion.
That was under a different name and everything. So in the Rumble. So now this is the true Atlas Raven making his debut. Yeah. It was cool to see him out there. I really did enjoy watching him.
Very happy. Very happy to see him be himself. But we move on. Yeah, as we saw, Birat is advancing to the finals. We move on to match number 2, which was, of course, Jax Wilder taking on everyone's favorite accountant, Taryn from accounting. Not a lot of notes here. It was a fun match, but it was a very short one. The match opened up with like 45 seconds of them repeatedly trying to get really quick pinfall attempts on each other, which I think is a great strategy in a 5-minute time limit match. Just try and get it over with as quick as possible. Get your opponent off guard. Eventually, towards halfway through the time limit, Jax does lock in the Spirit Breaker for a few seconds, but Taryn from accounting does manage to reverse it and roll Jax up into an O'Connor roll for the 3 and the win. Taryn from accounting is advancing to the finals.
Sweet.
Yeah, very, very quick match, but very fun match. We move on to match number 3. It is the battle of Nick Shostastic taking on nasty Nate Nixon. Nate comes out and says, "This is my runway, Nick," because, the model. My favorite moment of this match is we get Nick Shostastic's inverted, because it is a Rough Rider, but it's like a Rough Rider combined with a Famouser, because the Rough Rider usually goes up on the front of the opponent, but he does it on the back of their neck, so it's like a Rough Rider combined with a Famouser.
Rough Rider set up into the Famouser.
Rough Rider set up into the Famouser, yes, thank you. So he hits that, and the only note I have here is Nate was doing a lot of spitting this evening, and there was just this giant spitball on his beard, and it was nasty. It's very fitting. Of course, we do get the finish here where Nate hits Nick with his exposed knee to the face, his jumping V trigger, then hits a buck nasty to pick up the win and advance to the finals. One note from Andre's wonderful ring announcing job here after this match. he does kind of slightly roast Atlas Raven here. He said, "You can be as good at him or better. It's very possible."
Again, you can be better because the man's just starting. It wasn't a roast. It means you can be better than what
This
he
was
is
during
right now.
For context, this is during his ad read for the clandestine wrestling school, which I guess I can understand that.
And I'm saying you could be as good as Atlas Raven, or you can be even better. I'm not saying that Atlas sucked. There's no way was I roasting that man. I'm just saying you could be as good as him, or you could even be better depending on how you take to the school. It's just how it is. It's no slam against anybody.
Fair enough. We move on to match number 4, the fourth first round match. And of course, as they're both in the tournament, it has to be the Short Kings facing off. It's the Reed Matthews versus Marz The Specialist. God, random number generation just loves putting these two together.
Yeah, it's happened a couple times.
It's happened quite a few times. It's happened like 2 times this year so far. Because they fought at the Royal Rumble and now they're fighting here. So yeah.
Well, the Royal Rumble was more like thickness going, I want your cup. That was more what that was.
That is not something you want to say to another man.
He wanted the oil cup.
Okay, the oil. Thank you for clarifying.
Was this cup that won?
The note I have here is partway through the match, Marz gets Reed to the outside, and he suicide dives into all the chairs with the thickness. Again, it's always brutal when this happens because, like, those chairs, they are solid chairs. So it is a tough thing to do. But Thickness does eventually come back and pick up the win with the Blue Thunder Bomb for the 3 and the win. Thickness advances to the finals. Very good match. Match number 5, we have a battle of former LPW Grand Champions. It is the Rhinestone Cowboy Stephen Crow taking on Zoe Sager. My first note here is Steven must exercise his Z-shaped demon in this match because they had fought in the ladder match for the Grand Championship before. Was it last October, I think? I think that's about right.
Last year sometime.
Yeah. The note for this match is at one point, Steve just raw bitch slaps Zoe and yells, "Bitch!" in her face. And then Zoe comes back and slaps him in the face as a receipt. And then they just keep on fighting. But eventually, I think this is about 4 minutes into the time limit, Steven does hit the Good, Bad, and Ugly out of nowhere to advance to the finals. The Rhinestone Cowboy might have another chance at a title again. So there you go. And then we get to the final first round match of the Tournament of Salvation. It is White Shirt William Taylor versus Jack O'Connor. And out of the field of 12, this is the two that I was really hoping were fighting against each other, because these two guys, they are bare knuckle brawlers. They are brutal people, both of them. So seeing those two go up against each other, was very happy with that.
They're brutal people, you know.
Opening the match, Jack just yells, "Oi, you fuckwit!" and punches Will in the face, and then hits a rolling Euro uppercut for 2. So that's a fun one. But eventually, as we get towards the end, they just start beating lumps out of each other. They get down to the ground. It's kind of like a ground and pound sort of situation. They both tackle each other repeatedly. At one point during this little bust up here, Will makes a beautiful pin attempt by bridging both of his legs over Jack's and bridging. It was a really
the European clutch.
The European clutch, phenomenal. Love that. But Jack manages to kick out for 2 and actually reverses the European clutch into a beautiful heel hook. And unfortunately, the time just runs out here, but it looked like it was that Will was 2 or 3 seconds away from tapping out. I've been in a heel hook before. It is a brutal hold to be in.
All right. I need to hear that story at some point.
You'll hear it. But yeah, no, unfortunately, the time limit does run out, so both men are eliminated from contention, which means we have our final 5 in the Tournament of Salvation. And here's the finals. It is TFA versus Birat Gorani versus The Thickness versus Nasty Nate Nixon versus the Rhinestone Cowboy Stephen Crow. There's a lot to go through here, but I don't want to run the time too quick, so I'm just going to go through the eliminations. First man eliminated is Beerat, who is eliminated by Nate Nixon with his exposed V trigger to the face. Gets the pinfall off of that. Then Nate is eliminated by the Thickness a couple minutes later with a blue thunder bomb for a pin. A bit later, Stephen Crow is eliminated by the Thickness with a clothesline over the top rope because, like we said, elims can count from over the top rope.
The B-Rad elimination, he got V-triggered while he was on the apron and fell to the floor.
Oh, sorry, it wasn't the pin.
Because
yeah.
Crow had him was fighting him, had him on the apron, got knocked away, and then Nate came in with that.
And
Beerat had him. Nate had him on the apron, then Crow came in with the boot and knocked him off the apron.
Yeah, and Beerat had been over the top rope for that point. So forgive me for that small error. But the final two, regardless, is the Thickness and TFA. But immediately right after Thickness eliminates Stephen Crow, TFA manages to roll up the Thickness for a quick 3. And your new champion of salvation is Taryn from Accounting. And I believe we have a few words from the champion.
We do. I'll put it up here. I'll put it up here.
Go for it.
Andre C. here for the pop slot with our new CWS champion of salvation, Taryn from Accounting. How you doing being the new champion?
I feel really good, but I think you would say it's bittersweet.
Definitely. I guess especially with how that ending kind of came with you and Crow kind of getting into it there and him getting eliminated, then you picking up the win from that.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but things have been a little tense in our family lately.
A little bit.
I was looking forward to coming back out here, working together with him. And I think as the match went on, our magic kind of came back. But at the end of the day, he's got some demons right now that he's got to deal with. I don't know how to help him. I feel bad that I beat him in this particular match, but one of us had to win.
Yeah. So with this new championship of salvation, everybody knows it's a guaranteed title shot. It's a guaranteed cash in for a championship. Are you looking at could that be very soon, or maybe a little bit bide your time for that? Have you made a decision yet, or just kind of still figuring that out?
I haven't decided. Like I said, there's so much going on with us, Michael and Steven, that I don't know. I want to feel out where we're at. Ultimately, I'm ride or die. I'm clandestine society. Those tag titles are always close to my heart because that means I'm doing it with one of my family members. So could be a tag title or, maybe something else. I don't know yet. It's all too new.
Yeah. So, congratulations on your championship ovation and good luck tomorrow night for your LPW Scramble Championship match.
Thank
Hopefully you can pick up a win there and get the TFA 2 belts.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very fun interview as well with that. Very good.
Yes,
Great to hear some insight from someone who has to deal with both of those guys on a very consistent basis.
Yeah. So from here, we ended that night. We headed home, and then we came back for LPW 47, a part of our heritage.
This is my new favorite LPW branding. I grew up on those old school part of your heritage ads.
The house hippo.
The house hippo as well. I'm glad they played that before the show. Yeah, I kind of grew up on that, so this is great.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed the branding. So as we get into it, the show kicked off with Spencer Love as usual, but he had an announcement for the crowd. June 20th. It's going to be a Super Saturday show for LPW. CWS and the LPW shows will both be on Saturday, and we're going to Nate. Hey, LPW 49. Hey, bud, let's party. We're going to Nate. We're going to Nate, ladies and gentlemen.
Featuring Prince Pretty himself, Tyler Breeze.
Tyler Breeze. I'm looking forward to seeing Tyler Breeze. I remember a man who looked very similar to one Tyler Breeze named Matthias Wild way back in a decade and a half ago, 2010, 2011 in the PWA. guy named Matthias Wild before Prince Pretty appeared in the FCW and NXT and everything. So yeah, I remember a guy like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing this guy. Very much am. I'm
very excited. I'm very excited for this show as well. This show also opened before Spencer said something with a very heartfelt tribute to one. I'm going to get his name wrong.
Warren Diesel Barris.
Yes, Warren Diesel Barris. Just a brief word on one Warren Diesel Barris, because I never knew the man personally, but as someone who has gone back and listened to the old LPW events, the ones where he commentated, seemed like a very solid commentator. He definitely had a passion for the business, as I could tell. I'm sad I never met the man, and condolences to all of his family, friends, and fans.
Yeah, to that, I knew him in passing. We knew each other on a name basis, but that was just due to the independent wrestling scene. We knew each other as fans. I first became aware of Diesel Barris actually when he was part of the Bear. He worked for the Bear for many years, and that's where I where I knew the guy from. Then I met him at PWA events, and we would see each other even outside of. He'd be like, "Hey," and he knew my name. I knew his. It was just one of those things. We always see each other at indie wrestling shows and stuff. And I remember him hosting a trivia night at the old Arcadia bar when it was on 124th Street, and he will be missed by a lot of people. And to his family, to his friends, to everybody that knew him, our condolences to the man.
Our condolences.
You and to him, yeah.
Absolutely.
But from here,
now with that over with, yeah,
we go on to the show. We kicked it off with a singles match between Stephen Crow and Christian Starr. Crow attacks Starr while he's posing on the top rope during his entrance. He tosses Starr off the stage into the crowd chairs, gets him back up on the stage, hits him with the Meteora in the ropes, and then we get in and we start the match. Starr does fight back, gets a roll up. He attacking Crow, but Crow fights back, hits the toasted bagel for 2.
Toasted bagel.
For him, it's a toasted bagel. For Blaze, it's the final consecration.
Absolutely.
Crow just viciously attacking Starr throughout. Starr reverses a good, bad, and ugly. Goes in the attack, finishes up with the sling blade. Lariat off the top. Lots of crazy spots. Crow slapping him across the face while he's up top. He hits the superplex, rolls through, but Starr then reverses good, bad, and ugly and hits a brain buster of his own. Starr gets tripped up top into it and gets put into almost tree, but neck breakered into a tree of woe by Crow, and then Crow hits the tree of woe stomp, but only gets 2. Lots of Starr hitting a beautiful Starr card out of the corner, but is delayed on the cover. It only gets 2. The end of this match, though, Starr goes up to the top, but Crow shoves him off onto the stage. He goes up to the stage, throws him back in, comes in, hits good, bad, and ugly. Then he applies his kneeling rings of Saturn, and Christian Starr is forced to submit.
That's understandable, honestly. That's a painful submission. The one thing you missed that I wanted to bring up is at one point, Steven has Christian Starr up on the top rope. He gets up and he starts thrusting into Starr's face. But Starr manages to fight him off and counters with a Liger bomb for 2, which was phenomenal looking. And then we have the post match. Of course, the post match. Steven grabs the mic and he cuts a promo. He blames MRB for his title loss. It wasn't MRB's fault.
Giant baby
said he says he's put MRB on the shelf and that he's going to quote unquote destroy everyone until he gets his LPW Grand title back. It's a fire. It's got vitriol in his promo, but like one of his points is wrong, and another one of his points is directly proven wrong later. So, yeah, good match though. Really good match. Very happy with it.
Yeah. So we move on to the LPW Scramble Championship match. Originally, this was supposed to feature one Scotty Ace, but he was not there. So we just got a 4-way scramble match between Zoe Sager defending her championship against the Thickness Reed Matthews against Taryn from Accounting, the new CWS champion in Salvation, and Millwood's own TG Ray.
There we go.
We get into this, and it's fast and furious early. Zoe hits a code red to Thickness and was immediately. TFA then hits a Falcon Arrow to her. Then Gigi gets a crucifix on Gigi for 2. Gigi then comes in, hits La Mystica into the armbar to TFA. So much crazy. The spot where Gigi runs at thickness in the corner, he catches her, hits a Joe Uranagi, but then Zoe comes out of nowhere with as we call it, the Zoluva kick.
Yes, very good.
This spot where thickness catches Gigi in her arms and just pops her up and just boom, sit out powerbomb.
Oh, absolutely ruins her with this powerbomb. It was beautiful.
Yeah, thickness hitting the cannonball, missed the cannonball, and Zoe hits an intangible knee in the corner. There's a beautiful shining wizard by TFA, and then just incredible stuff in this match. Gigi hits the second rope cross to thickness, and then hits a suplex to TFA, and she kips up. Zoe comes in and hits Zoe is evil, the SPO for very 2. Just there's a beautiful Tower of Doom spot where thickness is powerbombing TFA and Gigi, who are suplexing Zoe.
Really good stuff. Like this match has a lot of really good stuff.
And then the match takes a downturn because somehow they attack thickness. Then TFA and Gigi take them out. TFA and Gigi 3D Zoe. But then the thickness comes back. Zoe's getting mad. Why? And she's just like realizes somehow. She's like, why?
Yeah,
it's just
the funniest part. She just grabs the back of his head and notices his thickness and is like,
why? And she slaps thickness. She starts paintbrushing him with slaps. The thickness is just like, oh, and hits her with a Blue Thunder bomb.
Yep.
But then Will Taylor comes in, throws a chair in his face. Will hits a flying knee into the chair in the corner. Then Nate gets a knee chair with a thickness while he's seated in the corner. TFA and Gigi are fighting all around the building. They end up fighting right behind us.
Yeah, right behind us.
TFA and Gigi fight back to the floor, then onto the stage. As they're fighting down to the floor, Nate hit that knee to the chair in the corner, and Zoe hits an assisted Z factor onto the chair. 2 thickness, gets a 1, the 2, and the 3. And Zoe Sager retains the title the same way she always does, using her bitches.
This is how it always goes, unfortunately. But if he keeps her on top, I guess they're going to keep doing it. We do get a bit of post-match here after Zoe and the lads leave, and the thickness also leaves here. We get TFA and Gigi still brawling. They brawl up to the stage. Taryn takes the mic, says that she is absolutely sick of Gigi trying to take her spotlight, trying to butt her nose into TFA's business. And through both of them bickering with each other, Gigi and TFA are slated to face each other one-on-one next month at May's LPW show. And she, again, is going really hard on Gigi, proving herself, because this isn't her home anymore. It's TFA's house now.
Okay, so she comes up. She says she comes around once in a while. Where TFA's always here. TFA's always here. TFA has been off since last summer. She just came back like a month or 2 ago.
Yeah,
and Gigi just came back last month. So Gigi hadn't been here since early last year. Don't get me wrong, but TFA's been off since the summer. You don't have the right to say that, TFA. I'm sorry. You've done very well, but you were off for a while too. So,
I mean, bad blood can boil over anything at this rate.
I agree, but I'm just saying her reasoning was like, well, you were gone for a while too. You were gone for months and months and months. And so
here we are. Yeah.
We moved on to a number 1 contenders gauntlet match. It started out with Lumberjack Larry Woods versus Marz The Specialist. A lot of good technical wrestling back and forth. Both men reversing the big moves. Marz does bring his just a beautiful wrestling style takedown, and then rolls over into a German bridge.
Yep.
2. Look, just amazing.
Absolutely.
Larry fighting back, goes with Larry. It goes to the spear, but ends up spearing the post. Marz then hits Tope Suicida to Larry on the floor. A really good spot. Marz does that penta arm snap spot. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a brutal sacrifice, as it were.
Yeah. So then he starts work. He gets a Mars bar at one point. but Larry rolls out, misses the sideline, but Marz they go back and forth. Marz gets a Psycho knee, only gets 2. Marz then applies the Kimura, but Larry lifts him, slams him. He fights a bit and he hits the side effect.
The cedar effect.
The cedar effect, as you like to call it.
Yeah.
Marz goes up, or he goes to the top, and Marz crotches him, comes up, hits the spider suplex, comes back up, hits the Marz salt, but only 2 again. Gets a Marz bar, but Larry rolls him over for 2, for a pin for 2. They're fighting back. Larry gets a sunset flip for 2, but Marz goes for another Marz bar, but Larry pulling a crucifix pin for the 1, the 2, and the 3 to move on in this gauntlet. You got any notes on the first part of the gauntlet?
Everything you said, I said. Especially, the cedar effect. Very happy with the results. And the match just kept getting better from there.
And no shade on Larry. We've turned the corner on Larry on this show. But I wanted to see Marz move on. I really did.
That's understandable. Marz is a great talent. I mean, I'm not going to hate you for that.
Yeah, and I hope Larry doesn't hate me for that either. Because again, I'm starting to enjoy Larry again. So Sheik Shabaz out next. Shabaz immediately with a European uppercut, picture perfect drop kick. He snaps the arm over his shoulder, then falls out with a Saito suplex. Sheik shoving his ass in Larry's face at one point.
Yeah, I missed that. I was like, I heard you guys freaking out, and then I saw Sheik walking away from Larry, and I'm like, did he just wipe his ass on Larry's bald spot?
Essentially. Well, no, wow. right on his nose. Right on his
Yikes.
nose.
That is interesting.
He slams Larry, hits him with a tope atomico. Sheik misses the leaping attack in the corner, or leaping European uppercut in the corner, or a leaping attack in the corner. Lands, crashes on his head. Larry attacks, big boot, and a drop kick off at second. Larry hits a TKO into a flapjack, but is delayed on the pin, only gets 2. Sheik reverses the sideline into a choke slam, but only gets 2. Sheik goes for the razor's edge, but it's reversed into the sideline, and then both men are down. They fight around the outside. Larry rolls Sheik in, goes to the top. Rich shows up, and instead of attacking Larry, he attacks Sheik to cause the disqualification win for one Sheik Shabaz.
I mean, look, I'm going to say it. That was an incredibly smart play by Rich there. It's a way to get Larry out of the match without having to, have everything boil over.
But as much as I think that the smart money would have been to actually attack Larry, get him the DQ win. Man, he's already been now through 2 matches where Sheik was only in 1. Mm-hmm. Rich actually didn't do the smart move here. He went with the fresher opponent, where he could have had Larry, who was far more tired.
But okay, fair enough on that point. But counterpoint with Larry, if it were Rich versus Larry, even if he were less fresh, I feel like Larry's fire and his passion would be an X factor that Rich did not want to deal with. And plus, he wants Larry in the rear view because of him ruining the Rads and whatnot.
Sure.
So it would make sense.
But just from if you're looking at this is a video game, you're going to go to the guy with the more depleted meter, and that is Larry.
That's a very fair point.
So,
and a side note, an LPW video game would rule.
Yeah. So after the match, Larry goes to attack Rich, but Larry gets pulled off, and Rich pokes him in the eye, and the guys drag Larry to the back. So we get Rich King versus Sheik Shabaz in the final contest in this Contenders Gauntlet. Rich choking Sheik with his shirt. He's beating down on Sheik. Gets a schoolboy roll up into the suplex for 2. Sheik reverses an 8-6-7 driver into a spine buster. Sheik's on the attack. Lots of back and forth here between the two of them. Rich gets sent out to the apron, breaks the eyes, gets a high knee in the corner. And Northern Light suplex rolls through into a clover leaf, but Sheik gets to the ropes. Sheik crashes an inside cradle for 2. Rich does eventually get his tips up DDT, but he only gets 2. Rich goes for a leap, but Sheik ends up leaps up, but Sheik slips out, hits him with a razor's edge, or he leaps up to the top with Sheik up top. But Sheik slips down, grabs him, razor's edge, 1, 2, 3.
And Sheik Shabaz is your new number one contender for the LPW Grand Championship.
I'm not disappointed, but I'm disappointed at the same time. I'm disappointed Rich didn't get the win here, but I'm also happy that she got the win here.
It really is like I could have been happy with anyone, but I think Sheik and Rich were the two that I wanted to win the most. I am very happy that Sheik won. Of course, I am a little sad that Rich did not win, but that just comes with the territory. I am happy that Sheik is getting his opportunity next month.
Yeah. So we had a board pop out of play to the ring. So we went to intermission. They got Boys Could Fix It.
Yeah, shout out to Stu and everyone that helped out fixing
all
the ring.
boys that fixed the ring. But we come back, and it's time for the LPW Challenge Championship match. Nick Shastasik makes his way out. Plays a bunch of this Blaze music hits, and all that you take. I'm crazy man. Did you get the promo from Nick Shastasik here?
I have a few things. I have here, after MRB doesn't come out the first time, Nick cuts a Jerry Seinfeld-esque promo where he is just he calls everyone ugly, which, I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
His entire promo is just MRB is too scared to come face me, give me the challenge championship, and also everyone in the crowd is ugly. He cuts his promo for about 4 minutes before MRB's.
Well, he demands to be awarded the title because it's a challenge championship. The challenger didn't show, so he wants the title awarded to him. So Spencer's going to announce it, and Michael Richard Blaze makes his way out, and he goes to talk, and then the crowd starts the greatest chant towards Nick Shastasik I've ever heard of, a chant of "Icky Nicky."
I do love that. I love Icky Nicky. Nice callback.
So Blaze does say he has had time to think the last couple of months. He was ready to relinquish, but he listened to Nick talk and says he disrespected the business. And he knows what he had to do. And he says he will let Nick forfeit, get out of the ring, forfeit, and or can let him save him. So Nick goes to exit the ring, but then he comes in and attacks Blaze, hits that.
Kicks him in the balls.
Kicks him in the balls. And then the match does start. He gets that Rough Rider famous serve, only 2.
Yep.
Nick's attacking the corner, so he's pulled off by Ben, but then he goes attacking again. Blaze comes back with a huge running drop kick and attacks, hits a suplex, drops the knee on the face. He runs up the corner, and as Nick rolls to the other side, he runs up the corner and dives over the top onto Nick on the floor. Comes back in.
Crazy for that, yeah.
Blaze does the kick and then the drop and punch up like Goldust and the Goldust does.
I love that.
I guess Cody does it too, but it's the Goldust move. He puts Nick in a tree of woe, stumps the hell out of him, goes the other side, and does the coast to coast flipping leg drop. And then he yells, "Let me save you!" Picks him up, final consecration, and Michael Richard Blaze gets the win.
Yep, he does get the win there. And then we get the post-match, and this is the most comprehensive post-match I have ever written for notes. MRB cuts a promo. He talks about the history of Nate. He talks about PWA, and he invites his brother out because he needs to settle the whole business with Steven. Steven and Taryn both come out. MRB invites Steven to get his feelings out and speak his truth. Steven once again affirms that it is MRB's fault that Steven lost the title. It's not. He whines that MRB has been holding him back ever since they were born, in real life and in wrestling. This sort of thing. MRB waits until Steven is finished, gets his mic back. Well, no, there's 2 mics. He lifts his mic and he says, "Now that you speak your truth, I'm going to speak mine. I have dealt with your abuse for decades. And without MRB, there was never going to be any Steven Crow. Without MRB, there would be no clandestine society," which is true. Before Steven Crow, he brings up that there was BVD and the Western Lions, which, phenomenal tag team, and it popped the crowd. He said before Steven Crow, there was PWA, and there was all these other things. There was Chucky Blaze, all this stuff. he goes through all of his career essentially in this moment. He says wrestling has always been, MRB says that wrestling has always been his priority number one. And then Steven tried to take it from him and overshadow him.
Well, he said it's always been priority number one until recently when he had his kid.
I was getting there.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And now because of MRB's new daughter, wrestling has become priority number two. So he sets up that the opening match. Oh, yeah. He also brings up that, the moment that he realized that something needed to be done was at one point his daughter came to him in bed and said that she wanted to go to a play place. And because he was in so much pain, he couldn't get up and take her, which really stuck the knife in the wound sort of situation. Mm-hmm. So he sets up that the opening match of the...
Okay, whoa. Before we get into that, you missed the best line he made. He said,
go ahead. I missed it.
He talked about when they played No Mercy back in the day.
I did forget to put that in, yeah.
And he said, when I would beat you, you would cry and complain. So the next time we'd have another match, and I'd let you win. So he's been the Crow's been a whiny baby since N64 No Mercy.
Good choice of game, by the way. I mean, you could have picked worse.
Oh, 100%.
So they set up that the opening match of LPW 49, the Big Nate Super Show, the return to the PWA hotspot, is going to be an unsanctioned match. Steven Crow versus Michael Richard Blaze. All the demons will be let out. And MRB says that this show will open with me giving you the beating I should have given you when we were kids. Then he drops the mic and leaves. Phenomenal promo. Genuinely one of the best promos I've listened to all year.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I was like, I'm ready for this. I am ready for this. And then there was a little bit of interaction, but yeah.
This was a nothing match with a huge amount of promo.
After the promo, there was a little interaction, but
just a little bit of talking, but it wasn't like anything serious.
Nobody's throwing fists yet.
There were no blows. There was just a little bit of jostling. But this made me wish that June 20th was tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So we moved on to your semi-main event of the evening is the Mad Lads defending their LPW Tag Team Championships against the Canadian Goose and Jax Wilder. Nate and Will come in, and Nate hit Goose with the belt. Jax gets sent to the floor, super buck nasty to Goose. Lads get a chair, but Jax takes it away. Goose is pretty much out of it at this point. So Jax is willing to fight these guys 2-on-1 to win the tag titles for him and Goose. Jack's getting the little bit of advantage quickly on Nate, but then Will and Nate get the control, and they get control for a good while. They're choking Jax with the coat. This is a spot where Nate's riding on Jax's back on the ropes, very
classy Nate Nixon over here.
This beautiful toss style X-Plex by Will Taylor to Jax.
Phenomenal.
There's a spot where Nate yells soccer and then PKs Jax and then yells FIFA.
I did love that. That was great.
Yeah, Jax fights back and says, Nate, you hit like a bitch. But he gets Nate in the corner, pulls the shirt over his head, chops him. I gets kicks. Nate fights back though. He gets him up on the ropes, hits a nasty German into the Will Taylor Tope Atomico. Yep. Nate hits his Huss twisting splash off the top.
He called it on his socials. He called it the Husper in the wind.
He hits Husper in the wind for 2. Jack does fight back. It's a double drop kick off the second to both of the Mad Lads. And this is where we get violence. Or should it be? Sorry, I shouldn't flip people off. Violence. I shouldn't start with the middle finger.
Don't start with the middle finger.
And Thickness comes out. Jax's cousin making his way up, puts the arm out, and the ref goes, okay. And they make the tag. Thickness becomes the official tag team partner in here.
Love it.
And Thickness just goes roughshod over the Lads. Seismic toss to Will Taylor. Thickness spears Nate. And it just when they try Buck Nasty, lots of craziness here. Jax comes back in, hits a running the running unsainter to the back of the head of Nate.
Flacco assisted unsainter.
Flacco assisted unsainter, yeah. Nate slips out of a fisherman suplex, hits strikes, but Jackson's an enziguri and a perfect plex for only 2. End of the match comes. Nate pulls Thickness's hair to get off of the shoulders of Thickness and hits a nasty knee. He pulls down the knee pad, but Thickness catches him into an off-the-shoulder spine buster. Zoe then comes out, distracting the ref. Will hits Thickness with the title, and Nate pins Thickness to retain. So again, Mad Lad's doing what Zoe does and cheating.
Yep, as per usual, they really do this. And again, we go from the longest post match to the shortest post match because it's literally just post match. The Mad Lad's
intangible madness attack. Yeah.
The intangible madness attacks Thickness. Jax tries to help, but he's run off. But then Marz comes in, and the day is saved. And then Marz and Jax carry Thickness out of the building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very,
that was the most simple post match we've had.
Very simple post match.
The ones that have had post matches.
Yeah. It was a good match, though. It was a good match. I'm sad for Goose getting knocked out immediately. I would have liked to have seen him do at least a little bit. But hey, I mean, we did get Thickness, and I'm very happy with Jackson Thickness as a tag team. They have great chemistry, as they should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good match.
We're still the Short Kings, though.
We do still have the Short Kings.
I just bought the shirt.
Where does Jax fit into the Short Kings?
Yeah. So we move on. Main event of the evening. It's T.Y Jackson versus B-Rap. Go, Ronnie! Let's go. LPW Grand Championship. Good back forth chance early on for both guys. Early, then we get into wrestling. T.Y. They get some chain wrestling early. T.Y. hits the tope suicida to B-Rat on the floor. The O-face does get stopped by B-Rat. T.Y. Looks to kind of have jammed his knee. So B-Rat hits the leg lariat to the somewhat injured opponent. And this is kind of where you kind of see the kind of turn in B-Rat.
Yeah. But B-Rat does straight up say he is still playing slightly face, and he's like, yeah, sorry, T.Y., it's just business. And then he, continues.
So he starts to get vicious here. He gets vicious. He gets mean. He's choking T.Y. on the ropes, drop kicks him out of the ropes from the floor. He's in the ropes, and he drop kicks him from like a drive-by style from the floor.
Yep. That was great.
T.Y. fighting back, hits B-Rat attacks. T.Y. hits a super kick. B-Rat hits a pump kick. They both lariat each other down. T.Y. moonsault off the second rope to a standing B-Rat. Slips on a disaster kick, and B-Rat gets his greetings from Kosovo and the running lariat for 2. Lots of stuff. They go for a Spanish fly, but T.Y. gets tossed off. Lots of fighting back and forth. T.Y. does eventually hit a Spanish fly off the top, only gets 2. B-Rat catches T.Y. running at one point. He hits a spine buster, misses the end his enziguri, his big enziguri, and T.Y. hits the disaster kick, but only gets 2. Big strike battle, just swamping each other. B-Rat pokes him in the eye. B-Rat does his old school walk into the blockbuster off the top. But only gets 2. T.Y. reverses the torture rack into a sunset flip. They're trading pins. T.Y. goes for a head scissors, but gets caught and in the corner. And B-Rat comes out for a powerbomb, but does eventually get Rona'd. B-Rat does eventually catch T.Y. and hits with a buckle bomb, then a torture rack TKO. Enziguri by B-Rat, but he's delayed on that cover. So 1, 2, and T.Y. kicks out. They end up fighting up. Yeah, they end up fighting up top. B-Rat gets knocked off. T.Y. hits an O-face, and then falls over the house call kick, and then hits the swanton off the top for the win.
T.Y. retains. He is still, in fact, our champ.
Sheesh.
And then we get the post match where B-Rat and T.Y. both get up. They look at each other. They shake hands. B-Rat lifts T.Y.'s hand up. Then Sheik's music hits, and B-Rat snakes T.Y. with a giant lariat. Sheik comes out, and Paralira begin to beat down T.Y. You get another hesitation enziguri as Sheik makes his way to the ring. He grabs a chair, and it's the same chair from the scramble match, but he grabs a steel chair. He sits down on T.Y.'s neck which is a fucking great visual. And he cuts a promo. He says, Ty, you're an all right guy. And, I don't mind you. What I hate is the fact that you're wearing the Grand Championship. Taking that away from big business people. He just says he doesn't like TY with the grand title. And he says that despite your recent success, your short-lived success, your title reign is going to be shorter than that success. He says that I'm going to take that belt and that it's just business. And if Sheik wins, Birat wins, Paralira wins, we'll both be champs. So just shut up and like it.
It's going to be a good match next month.
It's going to be a hell of a match next month. I'm super excited for TY Sheik. It's going to be a great show. They still haven't announced when the show is, but I'm assuming it's the last Friday like it usually is.
Something like that.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that was a great LPW show.
Yeah. Match. We're not going to do match of the night for CWS because it's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
So let's go match of the night for LPW 47. What you got, brother?
Yeah, I really had to think on this one because there were a lot of really good matches, but nothing that was really outright standing out for me. After some intense deliberation, I am going to give it to the scramble match. I think that match had a lot of really fun spots. It has 4 workers that I really do enjoy their ability and their chemistry. It set up a really high-profile match with Gigi Ray and TFA. Very happy with that. It could have been honestly any of the last 5 matches, but every match was great. But this match, it was a very narrow margin. This one was my favorite. What have we got for you?
Contender Gauntlet. I really enjoyed it. Some really solid wrestling in 3 separate matches within this match. I just really enjoyed it. Absolutely incredible match.
Valid. It's 4 really great talents.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great show.
It was a wonderful show.
Absolutely.
Great way to get back on track after the WrestleMania of LPW that was LPW 40.
Absolutely, and it was way better than the actual WrestleMania.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
As we're getting ready to get out of here, my boy, where can they find you?
Absolutely. You can find me on the Blue Sky at awscomedy.bluesky.social. You can find me on the Instagrams at awscomedyeg. And if you want to watch me and my buddy Malcolm and my buddy Andreas shoot the shit, talk about Power Rangers, we're still in season 2. The next episode is still in limbo as Andreas has not sent me the editing things, and he is moving as we know and tolerate. It will be out hopefully sometime next month before LPW. Fingers crossed. But you can find all of the episodes of the Morphomania podcast on youtube.com/@humanoidfreak2515. And one quick shout out to the Grindstone Theater, my favorite place for pretty much anything: improv, stand-up, burlesque, musical improv, a lot of fun stuff there.
Even wrestling themed
even wrestling themed improv, which unfortunately there isn't anything like that this week. But my shout out for a show this week, it's going to be Mixtape Improv's Under the Radar show. It'll be a wonderful night of 3 big improv groups getting on there, doing their best improv that they can. Some of my favorite people are in this show coming up. I probably won't be there, unfortunately, because I've been invited somewhere else that evening. But that show will be on Thursday, April 30th, starting at 9 p.m., going until 10 p.m. Tickets are only $14.31 Canadian. You can find that and all of their other shows in the weeks coming up at grindstonetheater.ca. Look at their calendar function, take a look at all the shows, and give them some love. Tell them AWS sent you. That's enough from me. Andre C., where can they find you, my friend?
You can find me on the X Blue Sky at that Canada Guy, Instagram threads at that Canada Dude. You can find me over on our local establishment where I do my show Marvel Talk every Thursday. I wasn't actually on the last episode because I was at the CWS event, but you can find me there most Thursdays with Marvel Talk. We got 2 more episodes of Daredevil to go, and then we have the Punisher special the week after after. So come check us out, talking about all that great content. And you can find me every Sunday morning. That's when I do my show, The Point of View, with the host of that show, and I just join him and hang out. Mr. Bobby Munson. We chat all the week of sports. We chatted the NFL draft today. We chatted NHL playoffs. We chatted some Premier League and the standings in there, and will my trees get eliminated, and the possibility that they may not get eliminated now because they're doing very well. So we're looking at all the great things in sports. You can check that out over on Our Local Establishment on YouTube and Twitch and all the social medias along the bottom there. But you can mainly find me right here on Backbreaker Video doing the Pop Swat and Pop Swat Presents. But you also find a lot of other great wrestling content right here, along with the replays of the Backbreaker Pro Wrestling show that has come out. That is back, and you can see that live every Wednesday and Saturday on the Twitch. Twitch.tv/Mike the Ref, as he after Dynamite and Collision, he does Backbreaker Pro Wrestling. So check that out. And if you want replays,
and what we got coming up this Wednesday on Evolution?
We have this Wednesday on Evolution. We have this guy. This crazy bee over here, going up against the Backbreaker Pro Wrestling champion, Walker Pipe Guy, in an elimination match. If this man can win, he gets a shot at the title.
You gotta come see it on Wednesday. You gotta come see me kick Walker's ass pillar to post.
Okay, coast to coast. And that's one more shout out to Love Wrestling. Love Wrestling on Tixer. Go to youtube.com/LoveWrestlingCH to watch all the events live on their YouTube page. You can check that out.
Can I get a pop for that?
Pop. I don't have pop.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Pop. That brings us to the end of LPW 47 episode of the Pop Spot. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe to Backbreaker Video. Get all that great Pop Spot content. We got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe in the next couple weeks, and it's going to be a wonderful time. This has been Andre C. I have been AWS. And until next time, stay poppin'. Bye-bye.